Lieutenant Rankins, thank you so much for talking to us today. Thank you so much for doing what you did for the city of New Haven and continuing to do so. How have you been?
It's been pretty challenging the past couple of weeks. Not just physically, but mentally. So I'm dealing with both sides. This is all new to me. I've never been through anything like this before. So some days it's more of the physical side, and some days it could be more of the mental side. So I thank everyone for being by my side. All the support from all around the world. They help me keep staying in this and fighting each and every day. Because it wasn't looking good in the beginning. I didn't think I'd be here today. And I never forget what my doctor told me, that the only reason I'm here today and I'm alive is because I never smoked a day in my life. So.
How did you draw that strength from the prayers, the well wishes, the people who just, came together around you?
I felt that that's what gave me hope, that there's still a lot left in this. My brothers and sisters from the fire department, especially, and they're by my side every day at the hospital. I appreciate them a lot. The entire community, my family, my mom, my dad, all that support is something I really needed, because I was lost. I didn't fully understand exactly what happened. It was just hard for me to gather myself, and actually be here today. So I thank everyone for everything that they're still doing. The community, phone calls, the text messages, all the support. Thank you for your support.
When we talked on the phone the other day, I was trying to, it was the first time I had talked to you, but we had covered the story, and I was trying to thank you. It was such an honor to talk to you and to thank you for, everything that you did. But how can we thank you? How is there, how can everybody's just so grateful, and how do we express that to you?
Well, I just want everyone to be strong for me. What bothers me a lot is when I see everyone crying, and I don't like that, because it makes me feel even worse. So as long as when they think of me, I want them to think of strength. Stay strong for me. And I've always told my mom that, my dad that I don't want to see them crying. I want them to be strong for me, no matter what happens. So by holding the tears back, I think that's the best thing they could do for me.
You talked about two phases of recovery, the physical and the mental. Take us through the physical at this point.
So the physical part is, that's been the most challenging at this time, because some of the injuries that I sustained was bilateral, both lungs, my trachea, my throat, inhalation, a burn inhalation injury. I hurt my back and my right eye, but it seems like each day everything seems to be getting better, and some days it seems like I could take a few steps back. Right now I'm having pain in the trachea still, which is why my voice is still a little low. I'm going to have a procedure done just to see, make sure everything's I'm going to have a bronchoscopy done to make sure that everything is fine inside the trachea.
And what about the mental part that you mentioned?
Mental part, I'm speaking to a lot of people from all over the country, Rhode Island, California, Texas. They're helping me, our EAP, Employee Assistance Program, and other counselors, social workers, psychologists. They're very helpful. My coworkers are very helpful. I get a ton of visitors. Everyone's here to support me, and I appreciate them for that.
I noticed that I know that you had put your uniform on for the funeral. What was it like to put that uniform back on after?
So the day of the funeral, we were actually planning to go to the funeral. The day prior, I was going to get a 4-hour pass to go to the funeral, then come back. But that morning, my condition wasn't good, so the doctors thought it was best for me to stay at the hospital and watch the funeral from the TV. That's when they called some of my coworkers to come sit beside me. So I was very disappointed that I couldn't be there in person, but I know that Ricardo seen that I was still there with him. And I appreciate my coworkers for being by my side, and the Bridgeport Fire Department as well. They were there, supportive, and being in the uniform. It made me feel as one unit again, as if I was back at work.
You've been on the force for 3 years. You made lieutenant. Very quickly you rose to the ranks. Let's start with what made you want to become a firefighter.
My uncle and mentor, Gary Tenney, he was retired captain from the New Haven Fire Department. So he motivated me to want to become a firefighter. Then I became a volunteer. Then I became a career firefighter in New Haven. I was a firefighter for 3 years. I recently got promoted to lieutenant in March at my 3-year mark. And that's the best job in the world. I love serving the community I grew up in. When I get off the piece, 9 times out of 10, I know the person that we're going to help. And that feeling, it's the best feeling in the world, knowing that you're there to help that individual.
You said that Dixwell Station is the busiest in the state?
It's one of the busiest in the state of Connecticut.
Wow. So what were those 3 years like doing that job that you love? And
so I've always been in busy firehouses. So I started out at Engine 10, which is on Lombard Street. I was there for a year and a half. Then I went to Howard Avenue, and I was there for a year. Then once I got promoted, I went to Dixwell Station, which is Gulf Street.
And you're not just fighting the fires. I know, from people who know you, you're actively involved in the community.
Yes, so we do a lot in the community. So I'm a member of the New Haven Firebird Society. We do a lot of community service to help out our community residents. I'm also a member of the Disaster Action Team at the American Red Cross. I'm a member of the Hamden CERT Team, Community Emergency Response Team, where we actually help the fire department and residents in need whenever there's some type of disaster that's occurred. I also help out with JHOP, Jesse Homeless Outreach Project. That's where we feed the homeless, either on the New Haven Green or our homeless shelters. And we have annual cookouts to help feed the needy and give clothes to the homeless.
So what drives you? Because I would say that shows how much internal strength you already possess.
So what drives me is seeing other people smile. Knowing that I can help someone and make their day better. That's what drives me.
And looking ahead, what are your hopes for the future in terms of going back to work, or what can you,
My hopes is to survive this career with my health and sanity intact. I do want to go back to work. I plan on going back to work with a full recovery, and time is on my side, so time will dictate when I could return.
You helped so many people in your life, and did you feel just that community coming back around you to, that the community you already built seems like it's lifting you up in your time of need?
Absolutely, that's exactly what I feel. I feel like they've been supportive from day one, not just to me, but to my family. And no words can express my gratitude for everyone in the community. I appreciate everyone 100% wholeheartedly, and I just don't know how I could thank everyone. It's truly appreciated.
I think it's just like paying it forward to you, because you already did so much. When you joined the department, did you ever, that's something that they tell you, I'm sure it's something in the back of your mind. You put on that uniform, it's a dangerous job. Did you ever anticipate something like this happening? How did you react when it did?
Never in a million years have I thought that I experienced something like this. I've always read about things like this. I've studied things like this. And I took a lot of classes. And I just never thought it would hit home like that. I never thought I would be in this situation. And it just made me this changed my life forever. So some days it makes me, I wonder, it makes me think a lot about, my future. Every day I wake up, every night I go to sleep, I just think about it. Can it happen again?
You worry about it happening again?
That's a thought I've had, because it happened. So this was reality to me.
If you're ready, would you take me through that day?
I don't think I want to. Yeah. It's very sensitive for me.
Absolutely, I understand. Now I know in one of your text messages you had said that you were close friends with Ricardo.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that relationship?
So Ricardo and I, we met prior to him joining the New Haven Fire Department. So when I was a firefighter, I remember he was telling me that he wanted to join the department. So he came to, so I know his family. So like I would help him study to take the exam. You know, I was giving him a lot of tips and pointers. I helped him study for the written test, the oral exam. Then he ended up getting hired. He got on the class after I got hired. He was very motivated, very eager to become a firefighter for the city of New Haven. And that was the only city he really wanted to work for. You know, he helped a lot with our community service, a lot, and, you know, I love him. That's my brother. I will always make sure his legacy lives on. We're opening up a scholarship in his name. You know, so for city residents, I know that he supports a lot of city residents, and EMT was a very difficult part for him, but he got past it. It was difficult for me, and I got past it. But EMT is a big portion of being a firefighter. We respond to a lot of emergency medical calls. So by helping residents get an upper hand or get a helping hand and obtaining their EMT certification before they could become firefighters, we think that would be a good start for these individuals.
That's a great idea. It just shows that you're still thinking about other people, even though you have a lot that you're dealing with.
Yeah, but that's what motivates me. That's what keeps me up, keeps me going. I got to do something. Oh. You know, helping others. That's what I've been doing. I don't like sitting around. You know, I realize that life is still going to go on with or without me. So.
You know, I had no idea that you and Firefighter Torres were so close. I didn't.
Oh, yes, we were.
I didn't know anything about how you helped him to take the test. And you helped a lot of people, obviously.
Yes.
But, and you guys had obviously been to fires in the past together.
Yes.
And you said brothers, so you have each other's back. Can you tell me about that? Yeah. What was like the relation, you know, the dynamic when you guys were together, joking or, you know?
So when we were together, it was always a good time, you know. I remember, you know, the conversations we were having that day. You know, we actually talked about, because they're going to be hiring a new class soon. So we were talking about when he first started. I was helping him with the test. These new individuals who were going to be coming on, I helped a bunch of them study for the test. Ricardo helped as well. You know, and we feel that they're going to go through the same process that we went through, and we just couldn't wait to, you know, start working with these individuals, show them the right way, how things go, how things supposed to run, and work side by side by our residents, you know, help our community.
Sounds like it was just a regular day.
It always starts as a regular day. Always. But you never know how it's going to end.
What would you want people to know about him, about your relationship?
Ricardo was the best guy that I've ever worked with. You know, he was like a brother to me. He was a close friend. He cared about his family. He cared about his community. You know, his work ethic was strong. He had maybe the best work ethic on the job. You know, he was always fast, get things done quickly, and I always love Ricardo. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure his legacy lives on. More than just a scholarship. We have a lot more things in place that you'll be hearing about soon.
Oh, wow, really? How does it make you feel when people call you a hero? Because that's what you are to the city.
Well, when I hear that, I don't feel like a hero. I honestly don't feel like a hero. But that's what we do every day. You know, I've been to a lot of fires. I've been to a lot of calls. That's just something we do every day. So hero isn't something that I expect. You know, we're just so used to helping other people. You know, it's a job we do.
Just talking to you, I mean, you're such a, I don't know if you like this word, selfless person, I think is how I would describe you. I know that, yeah, that after everything had happened, one of the first things that you did when you woke up in the hospital, according to the chief, was you asked for you asked for Ricardo, and you weren't thinking about yourself, even though you were going through that situation. You were thinking about everybody around you. Why?
That's just that's what's instilled in me. It's hard to explain. You know, it's the way I was raised. You know, you know, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like that's all I know. You know, that's all I knew. I went in with him, so I expect to come out with him. You know, that was on my mind.
How did you find out, and how did you get through that?
And I got off the ventilator and woke up from the coma. I actually asked the doctor. I asked my nurse and my doctor about him. But it seemed like everyone was either avoiding it or they'll change the topic. And then when the chief came, he was the one who notified me, who told me. Because I had no clue. You know, and I never forget that day. And I still think about it.
How are you getting through it?
Just resting, trying to stay busy, reading, talking to coworkers, family, friends, you know, talking to doctors, going to therapy. That's very helpful and beneficial. You know, it's just timing. This is going to be stuck with me till the day I die. That's what someone told me, and I believe that. You know, I've experienced a lot of things in this world, my 29 years on this earth, but nothing of this magnitude. You know, it was always easy for me to get over things. You know, I see at work every day, but this is different. This is very different. You know, and it's hard.
I know with therapy sometimes, I have a therapist too, and what we talk about is processing things, you know, so, and part of that is talking to the people around you who, you know, who might be as affected as you are. Have you talked to firefighter Torres' family? Have you been able to talk to them?
Yes, so I talk to his mom almost every day. She was actually here the other day. So we're going to be, maybe hopefully next week, she's going to take me up to the cemetery because I wasn't able to attend the funeral in person to go up to the cemetery. So we're going to take a ride up there, me, his mom, his sister, and his stepdad.
Does it help?
Yes, it does help a lot. She checks on me every day.
You know, you're only 29. I know you said, you know, in your 29 years you haven't gone through anything like this, and yet at the same time, you are only 29. You have your, you know, your whole life to live. Most people don't go through anything like this. Have you begun thinking about, you know, your plans for the future and what, you know, what you want to do? I know you said you want to keep Ricardo's memory alive. Absolutely.
Yes, I would like to also teach. You know, teach individuals how, things that we've encountered. So the future, hopefully they could use it as a learning lesson so it doesn't happen again in other fire departments. I also would like to, sorry. Okay, so in the future, besides just going back to work, I would like to, teach across the state, hopefully, teach other individuals what we've encountered and how maybe they can avoid it in case they're ever in that same situation. Take it as a lesson that they can learn from and use it as a preventative measure.
Wow. To help other, firefighters to prevent anything like that
Yes.
from happening. Is there anything that you want people to know, because everyone just wants to help you? I know, there's been donations, there's been cards and letters.
Everyone could do for me is stay strong, continue praying. I don't need any more gifts. I have a house full of gifts and everything, you name it. I just want them to stay strong for me, continue praying, and no crying. I don't want to see anyone crying. Just stay strong for me and continue praying. And soon, I'll be back out there and, we could do some more good things.
Are you, I saw you walking. It seems like you're able to be active and.
So now I'm able to walk without my walker. So that's a good sign. So I'm going to physical therapy. I think that's helping. So that's very helpful. And like I said, each day I have my days. Sometimes when it rains, I feel that I have a little more pain than the other days.
Mm-hmm.
I get winded quickly, but I'm working on that as well in physical therapy. Depends on how far I walk or how long I'm walking or how fast I'm walking. But like I said, time is on my side, so that would tell.
Have you laughed at anything? What have you been have you laughed? Have you had moments of joy?
It's hard to laugh, so when I laugh, it starts hurting right here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why my voice is still a little low.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to tell people don't make me laugh yet, because it's actually hurting me physically.
Oh. Have you had moments of joy? What's been bringing you joy? And
when I was released from the hospital, that was a moment of joy. I was in there for 11 or 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect that many people. I didn't know it was going to be that many people out there.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good moment for me.
It was the whole city practically.
Oh yes, actually. I was very nervous as well.
And then we had like the motorcycle. They've just been doing things for, I think like last weekend it was a big rally with all the bikers doing a ride for you.
Okay, yes, I've heard about that. I want to thank everyone who came out to ride for that event.
Yeah.
It doesn't go unnoticed. I thank everyone on behalf of me, my family, the Torres family, and the McMillan family. We appreciate everyone for their support for that.
And we know you've had it, you talked about leaving the hospital. There has been some setbacks, I think, when you had to go back. How do you get over those?
Healing, resting, taking it one day at a time. Sometimes I feel like I push myself. I try to force myself because I'm young. I usually don't get sick, or I've never been, hurt this bad. So I'm just eager to try to get better, and maybe I'm not sure if that could be part of it. But yes, there's been times when I've been getting better. Then some days it'll decline, and depending on how bad it declined, I may end up back in the hospital. But right now, It seems like it's inclining, and that's where I'm trying to keep it, just slowly and gradually.
You seem like a patient person, just in general.
Mhm.
Has that helped?
Yes, it does. I've always been patient. What's that saying they say? Patience is a virtue.
Yes. Slow and steady.
Mhm.
How are your lungs?
So the pneumonia is gone. It's all clear. So the lungs, I'm working on trying to gain my breathing back in my full lung capacity when I take deep breaths. So I'm doing that at physical therapy as well. And I have a bunch of machines that I'm using to help with my breathing exercises.
What are your more difficult days like? When your darker moments? How do you get through that?
Those days, I'm usually stuck in bed. I feel like I don't even want to get out of bed. I don't want to be bothered. I feel like being alone. I'm barely on my phone. And a lot of people text me, email me, and call me. But it's just so many to respond to. But I do want everyone to know that, I see it and I thank them, and I will be getting back to them.
How do you get through those days?
My family. My family is very supportive of me. Like my dad, he's been by my side all the time. My mom been by my side ever since. So when I'm having a bad day, they'll come in and talk to me. Or even my therapist, I'll call her up.
Lieutenant Rankins, we can't thank you enough for... Is that strange when people thank you for... We feel some,
Mm-hmm. It does feel a little strange, because I'm not used to this type of stuff at all. I'm more of a giver, not a receiver, so that could be maybe the reason why as well.
It sounds to me, though, that you've started to process everything that happened, and that's part of the healing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd say taking it one day at a time. I think each day does get better for the most part.